But also, we've got the patent-pending, very popular superhero Spotlight.
Select your hero.
T'Challa is the king of Wakanda, the proud member of an ancient dynasty of technologically advanced African nation. A man of extremely high intelligence, he is one of the 8 smartest people at Marvel Earth, and of high combat ability. He dons his Panther costume to defend his kingdom and even the world. His strength, speed, and healing are all empowered by the Panther deity, which also gives him a resistance to magic, and he's backed up by an array of gadgets that would rival Tony Stark. T'Challa first appeared in Fantastic Four number 52, April 1966, making this his 50th anniversary. He was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, and though his name is unrelated to the political group that would form in October of the same year. It's hard to overstate Black Panther's importance because he really is the first mainstream black superhero in comics ever. Admittedly, early depictions of Wakanda were a tad retro, seeming to take more influence from the Tarzan films of the 40s, but still, that's quite an accomplishment. For perspective, DC didn't get their own black superhero until 1971, who, perhaps not coincidentally, is a Jack Kirby creation as well. Fantastic Four 52 introduced us to the paradoxically advanced and traditional African king. T'Challa was a supporting character in Fantastic Four who was used lightly, but in his first appearance is when he also got his first villain, Claw, a rich white dude who is out to steal Wakanda's resource, mainly vibranium, the super rare metal that is used in part in Black Panther's tech and also Captain America's shield. Claw had also killed the former king of Wakanda, Black Panther's father. Not long after that, Black Panther met up with Captain America and began one of his many lengthy stays in the Avengers. That would be in Avengers 52, May 1968, though it would later be retconned that he joined the team so he could spy on them. Soon enough, in 1970, in the Avengers comics, he revealed his secret identity to the world, making him one of the early public superheroes who was just both T'Challa and Black Panther to the world at large. It's also when he met his sometimes love interest, Monica Lynn. After Marvel briefly failed to rename him Black Leopard, Panther took over the series Jungle Action with issue number 5. Now, while that name isn't the best name for the book that would star an African king, it is worth commending that writer Don McGregor put T'Challa in charge of the book at issue number 5 because he was bothered that a book set in Africa kept starring white dudes. McGregor and artist Rick Buckler would go on to do a 13-part epic, more in the style of modern comic storytelling, 13 chapters long, all about a war within Wakanda against Eric Killmonger, who is basically T'Challa's Moriarty. He's another would-be king and usurper of the throne of Wakanda. Unfortunately, Jungle Action wasn't that popular and was canceled in less than 2 years. Then Black Panther would finally get a proper series with Black Panther number 1, January 1977, when Jack Kirby returned to Marvel and took over the series. But he quickly left it because he wanted to work on newer concepts, not an old character of his, and the book was canceled by issue 15. T'Challa rejoined the Avengers and had a number of side appearances in books like Marvel Team Up and Marvel 2-in-1, and he wouldn't get another solo book until a miniseries in July 1988. Most of the 90s were a turbulent period for Black Panther. He would take part in the Onslaught Heroes Reborn crossover, which would see him transported along with a bunch of other famous Avengers to another universe, where he was remade in the Jim Lee Fantastic Four book, and I have to say Jim Lee drew him pretty well. But Black Panther's biggest change came in November of 1998. It was a watershed moment for him as his Marvel Knight series was launched by writer Christopher Priest and artist Mark Teixeira. Christopher Priest was resistant to take over the book at first and decided that if he would do it, he would only do it if he could tell the story he wanted to tell, which is the U.S. government, or at least a clandestine part of it, trying to dethrone Black Panther so they could take over his country and steal his natural resources. Of course, that didn't work out so well for them. Though Priest wrote the book with T'Challa kind of at a distance. He was very enigmatic and powerful, didn't trust the government. That's where the story of him being a spy within the Avengers began. After an acclaimed run with Priest, the mid-2000s saw more big changes for T'Challa. First off, it was retconned that he and X-Man Storm were old flames from their youth in Africa, and that it sparked back up again, and were now getting married amidst the Civil War storyline, which Black Panther and Storm eventually joined Cap's side. In the fallout of that, they briefly took over the Fantastic Four while Reed and Sue were having marital issues. At the same time, Reginald Hudlin, a producer at BET, took over the series Black Panther, and at one point even had T'Challa replaced by his sister Shuri. The plan was for Hudlin's series to be the basis for a animated series on BET, which did happen, though the animation's not the best. If you're also looking for great Black Panther stories from that time, Jason Aaron did an amazing Secret Invasion storyline where the Skrulls tried to invade Wakanda and T'Challa just murders all of them, just rips them to shreds. It's incredible. There was also a brief time that while Daredevil was away recovering from being a ninja, T'Challa became the protector of Hell's Kitchen. He was the new Man Without Fear starring in the Daredevil series, though he was still known as Black Panther. Then came Avengers vs. X-Men, which really effed up Black Panther's life. Namor, under the influence of the Phoenix Force, destroys Wakanda with a massive tidal wave that kills thousands. Black Panther puts a lot of the blame on the X-Men and, in his anger and sadness, annuls his marriage with Storm, thus meaning it never happened. They are not divorced. It was a Wakandan marriage, and he's the king, so he says that marriage didn't happen. Bing, bang, boom. Avengers vs. X-Men led straight into Jonathan Hickman's run on Avengers, where he made Black Panther a big part of the new Avengers team and one of the heads of the Illuminati. While he was having to work with Namor, he still said he was going to kill him someday, though they came to make up when they were fighting against incursions from other universes that were threatening to destroy their Earth. The two of them even teamed up to stop Doctor Doom in the finale of Secret Wars, and T'Challa got a nice gift for that. He used Secret Wars' cosmic reboot to restore Wakanda and make it the most advanced nation on Earth, home of the Alpha Flight program. That takes us to today, where not only is he one of the members of the Ultimates team, he also is currently starring in his own book by acclaimed writer Ta-Nehisi Coates, with art by Brian Stilfreeze. It seems to be a very promising series that is just getting started. It was a long time before Black Panther got his own appearance outside of comics. 1994's not very good Fantastic Four animated series, to be exact, though he was voiced by Keith motherfucking David. I love that guy. There was also Djimon Hounsou played him on the BET series, and he's also had a playable role in multiple Marvel video games, though he has yet to star in a solo game of his own. And of course, currently Chadwick Boseman will be playing him for the first time in live action up on the big screen, premiering in Captain America Civil War, and I gotta say, he looks like a stone cold badass scratching away at Captain America's shield. I cannot wait to see more of that. And of course, that's going to lead directly into a solo film, February 2018, which will be directed and at least partially written by Ryan Coogler of Fruitvale Station and Creed fame. It's been a great 50 years for Black Panther, but it really feels like it's just getting started. And that is our superhero spotlight.
Select your hero.